What's going on, everybody? Theocles Killer here again from Father and Son Play Games. Got a video for you guys just to go over the weapons balancing patch that Bungie dropped for us on Valentine's Day. Give you a little bit of my feedback as far as how Crucible is looking and my personal opinion on the weapons balancing, what weapons I found that worked for me, and just the overall feel of the game for me. Now, with that said, give you a little bit of background as to the way that I play. I am not a run and gun kind of guy. Never was very good with shotguns. Just not my style of play. I'm more kind of mid-range to back of the map kind of player. Solely for the fact that just my reaction time is a little bit slower than some of these younger kids that play this game. But overall, I quite enjoy the game. I'm halfway decently successful at it. You know, my youngest son, who's 11, is really good at kind of run and gun. He enjoys the faster pace. So his personal opinion definitely going to be different than mine. But again, you know, if you're a similar type of player as I am, maybe this will help you out. Maybe it'll give you some ideas of some things to try, some things to do. Hopefully improve either your gameplay or just your overall feel of how Crucible is played. If not, if you're a run and gunner, whole bunch of YouTubers out there got great feedback that definitely help you guys out, so definitely jump in, check out some of their videos as well. But outside of that, again, this is just my personal opinion, and hopefully it'll help you guys out. Now, first and foremost, primaries, what they've done to them obviously has been a good thing in my opinion. It really only took one weapon that I really enjoyed using out of my gameplay, which was the Soul Stealer's Claw. Soul Stealer's Claw was one of those high rate of fire weapons that you could get from the Reef from doing the Challenge of Elders. So it did kind of ruin that weapon for me, or just maybe it didn't ruin it. It just didn't feel right for me the few times that I tried to use it. But weapons that I did find had a great increase in it is obviously the Suros regime did really well. Did really well. I used it for probably about 8 or 9 matches. Was really successful with it in my personal opinion. If you really want a great overview and just watch some great gameplay with it, go check out Prodigy in Rage Cinema. He's got a great review on the Suros regime with some great gameplay in that video. Kind of give you an idea of exactly how that weapon can be played with. I don't have any footage in this video that's going to show it, but all in all, it is a much better, much more viable weapon that you can carry into the Crucible. Now, myself personally, I'm probably not going to take that into Crucible with me on an everyday occasion, but all in all, did quite enjoy using that weapon. The other auto rifle that I quite enjoyed using was the Hexans Hatchet. Now, obviously, that's not going to be a weapon that we're going to be able to get anymore because that was a Year 2 Iron Banner weapon, but it's a medium rate of fire, higher impact weapon. It did really well on a medium to small range maps. Not something that I'm going to go run and gun with because there were times where it didn't feel like it quite had the time to kill rate that I would like to see it have, but all in all, did really well. You can see in this video here, I'm running around with it. Had some really good success with it on a lot of different maps. But as far as primaries, as far as auto rifles, the Suros and the Hexans Hatchet are kind of what I believe Bungie was trying to get people to start using, rather than the higher rate of fires like the Soul Stealer's Claw and the Trials of Osiris auto rifle. The pulse rifles, Spare Change and Hopscotch Pilgrim, great weapons. Really good weapons. You can get a really good roll with those, and they're extremely deadly. You can honestly 2 pulse kill with those. Get 6 headshots, and time to kill is absolutely ridiculous. Now, it will take a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to the slower rate of fire pulse rifles, but it's going to force you to be a little bit more patient with your shots in general. But overall, if you can be, they're extremely deadly and extremely good performing weapons. Now, the Hopscotch Pilgrim is a weapon you can buy from the vendor. It is even, just the roll on it from the vendor, in my opinion, is really, really nice and really good. So I definitely recommend, if you don't have one, go buy one. It's worth a shot. It's worth a try. Can you get better rolls on it? Yeah, you probably can. But all in all, straight from vendor, it's a really, really good pulse rifle to pick up and run around with. Next part is going to be hand cannons. I'm just grouping all of them in together. The patch that they did to them, all of them all together, are extremely good. Makes them all really deadly. So it's hard to just pick out, which one was the best. Obviously, Planet Destiny posted the most used ones. So, pick your choice. They're great weapons. I used my Imago Loop and the IS Luna rolls that I have. They're phenomenal. Did really well. Not a hand cannon guy. Didn't really go all out with any of them, but did really well when I did use them. So definitely pick you up a hand cannon. Give it a shot. Give it a whirl. See how it does for you. That's going to be all of them. Outside of that, guys, the one weapon that I still found was pretty viable is still the Clever Dragon. Most people kind of wrote it off after the patch. I went ahead and gave it another shot. Obviously, it's the first thing I did was grab the weapons that I used, see how they've changed, and then go into other ones. The Clever Dragon was a weapon I still came back to. Even with the rate of fire drop off and the magazine drop off, really didn't bother me a whole lot. Now, the magazine size, probably more than anything else, did, just solely for the fact that it really makes you be a little bit more patient with your shots and not just spray and play. But all in all, still a good weapon, still really viable within the Crucible. Now, moving on to your secondary weapons, your special weapons. This was probably the hardest for me to get used to in the beginning, and that's one reason why I didn't want to jump in immediately after the patch and kind of give you a knee-jerk reaction to my first initial perspective, just solely for the fact that I like sniping. It's more my game style, just solely for the fact that I can sit mid-range or further back in the map and pick people off. But there were a few games where I was able to sit back, pick up an ammo crate, and continue to, and just stack ammo on top of ammo. I had plenty of rounds just to have a little bit of fun with. But on the smaller range, on the small maps, a lot more difficult to do that with sniper rifles. Shotguns, bless their heart, unfortunately, they're going to have to do something. I wanted them to kind of do something with the range on just a couple of the shotguns. Make the higher rate of fire shotguns a little bit more viable. But unfortunately, as my fear was, they were going to almost nerf them out of the game. And that's almost what it feels like. I think out of the entire week, I may have gotten killed with maybe 7 or 8 shotguns, and that was it total. It was kind of crazy how they were so rampant in the game, and now they're almost non-existent. So I may have just not ran into anybody wanting to run them or something along that lines, but it just didn't seem as prominent in the game as they used to be. So not sure if they'll make a change on those or not, but if they wanted to nerf them, well, they were very successful. I think a lot of that has to do with the spawn rate of the ammo crates and the way that you lose your ammo with the shotguns and snipers upon death. Outside of that, sidearms. Sidearms are going to be the new meta. Those were extremely prominent in the game, especially a couple different ones. Now, I've never ran with snipers, or not snipers. I've never ran with sidearms, so I didn't have any in my vault. So I don't really have a feedback for you on that particular weapon. The only one that I had was the Trespasser. So I threw that on towards the end of this, probably Saturday, Sunday. Threw that on just to kind of get a feel for it. It did okay. It did well. Again, I'm not the best with sidearms, so my overall review of it was decent. I did like the fact that, you know, if I died and I came back to life, guess what? Still had ammo. So that part of it was nice. So I don't know if they're going to make a change to that or not, or if they even should make a change. But the meta definitely is going to lean you into a lot more sidearms within the Crucible. So with that said, heavy weapons, don't really have a review on them. I don't run the Truth in Crucible, so I don't know how the dropping the ammo capacity down to 1 round in a magazine affected people. So if you do use the Truth in Crucible, let me know how it feels. I felt like that change more or less only hurts you in PvE because that's where I do use it. But, and I don't understand why they would do something to affect PvE per se. But outside of that, I just kind of use heavy weapons, or the heavy machine guns, and a couple other different, you know, rocket launchers. So that really didn't affect me that much. But overall, felt the weapons balancing patch was you know, probably about 85% out of 100. Well done on Bungie's part. I thought they had some good things. They did have some things that you know, is going to change the game. Overall, like my fear was that it's going to slow the pace of how the Crucible is played, including Trials of Osiris, and it has. It really has. Had a lot of games that we ran the time limit on, and it was really honestly kind of weird to run the time limit on some of these games where, you know, never really had an issue with time up until this point. So, you know, in a nutshell, they did well. They're going to have to figure out something to make the game just a hair bit more fast paced, maybe. But all in all, I thought they did a decent job. Maybe they need to extend the timer. I don't know. But overall, I thought they did a decent job. And really, honestly, I don't have any negative to, you know, harsh negative to say towards Bungie about this. So, you know, if you've got any feedback to give, please do. Let me know what weapons you use, what weapons you enjoyed, what changes you think that they should have made, you know, towards it. You know, if you've got a weapon that you enjoy using, you know, by all means, if I can get one, I'll jump in, try to use it, and include that in with these groupings of weapons that I've got here. Blade Dancer, never really had a problem with. Didn't really notice a big change in whenever I ran it. The Warlock Melee, that's definitely not as crazy as it was in the past. Either that or people just aren't running it. So I'm okay with that one. Still don't know why they changed Blade Dancer. That one still got me boggled. But all in all, enjoyed the Crucible this week. First couple of days were a little frustrating, but outside of that, thought they did a good job. But with that said, guys, that's really all I've got for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll come back next time. I'm going to try to put together a little highlight video for you guys of just a couple different things that's gone on over the past couple of weeks. Haven't done one in a while, so got some video footage saved up. So I'll try to put something together for you just for some entertainment. A little bit shorter videos than what I've done here lately. But outside of that, guys, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you again next time. Later, guys.